Former President Trump will be back on Capitol Hill tomorrow for the first time since his supporters stormed the Capitol building on January 6, 2021. The presumptive Republican nominee will be meeting with both House and Senate Republicans to discuss the upcoming election and his plans for 2025, as well as possible revenge upon those he perceives as enemies. Our contributing correspondent Rachel Bade is on the Hill. Rachel, the city he loves to hate and hates to love. What's he hoping to accomplish with this visit?
Yeah, Kira, I think there's a couple goals for Donald Trump coming up to the Hill. The first one is going to be the more obvious and sort of explanation they're going to give publicly and already are giving, and that is they want to rally Republicans behind the former president before election season really gets hot. They want to be united. They want to talk about a potential agenda. Should they keep the House and flip the Senate as well as the White House? What sort of legislation do they want to pass? But you also have to keep in mind the timing of this. The thing that is at the top of Donald Trump's mind right now is his conviction and the possibility of facing a jail sentence. He has been chatting with people or behind the scenes about trying to get House Republicans to pass some sort of legislation when it comes to this issue. Right now, Republicans are looking at two things. They're looking at defunding some of these prosecutors that have gone after Donald Trump at the state and local level, but also the federal level with Jack Smith. And they're also talking about taking some of these cases from these state prosecutions and moving them to the federal level, which actually benefits Donald Trump. So we could see efforts on this in the coming days.
So House Speaker Mike Johnson was pressed over Trump's first visit to the Hill since the insurrection. Let's take a listen.
Have you spoken to him about basically not doing anything like that again and committing to respecting the sort of American tradition of a peaceful transfer of presidency?
Of course he respects that, and we all do, and we've all talked about it ad nauseum. We're excited to welcome President Trump back.
Yeah, I know. It just the way the question was asked, I mean, like it was kind of nonchalant. I mean, the fact that people died that day and were inspired by what Trump had said. What do you make of Johnson's attitude toward Trump's return to the Hill? I mean, he's acting like, no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, look, Johnson politically doesn't have any sort of political benefit to go out there and sort of talk about this and push back on Donald Trump. I mean, he's going to try to undercut and sort of sweep this issue under the rug, just as he did in that answer, saying, oh, of course Trump, is going to respect the results of the election. I mean, Donald Trump has been asked about this multiple times in recent weeks, recent months, and he said, we'll see. It depends on the results of the election. So this is not an issue Speaker Johnson wants to talk about, and that's why you see him pivoting very quickly when he got that question to saying, look, we're excited to meet with Donald Trump. Obviously, they want to talk about elections and the future agenda, but he does not want to talk about January 6th in the fall out there.
But Rachel, doesn't that need to come up? I mean, considering how everything went down when he didn't accept the election results. I mean, we're 5 months from November, and there's a lot of GOP lawmakers, in addition to the Dems, that are extremely concerned about what could happen.
Well, a lot of them are not talking about it up here. I can tell you that, Kira. When it comes to January 6th and threats about, post-election stability, Republicans right now don't want to admit that there is a potential concern there. A lot of Democrats do, and clearly there is after what happened on January 6th, and a lot of threats that we continue to see today. But Republicans right now, clearly the politically expedient talking point is coming first. They're not interested in talking about that, Kira.
All right, one more question, if you don't mind. What can you tell us about this meeting with senators tomorrow? It's going to be the first time that the former president will actually be in the room with Mitch McConnell since 2020.
Yeah, that is going to be really awkward. Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump obviously do not like each other. In fact, you could probably say pretty safely that they hate each other. But Mitch McConnell, who's going to be retiring at the end of the year, obviously wants to keep Republicans united. He knows if he doesn't show up to this meeting that there will be a lot of controversy, and that will end up being the story instead of focusing on what Donald Trump is doing with Senate Republicans, which again is coming up with agenda. I can tell you there's a lot of conversations up here on Capitol Hill about Republicans passing potential tax cuts, some spending cuts. They want to use this sort of obscure fast-tracking tool that will allow them to get around the filibuster in the Senate. That's, of course, it all depends on if they flip the Senate and take the White House, but they're certainly planning right now as if that is the case, just to be ready, Kira.
All right, Rachel Bade for us up on the Hill. Rachel, thank you.